Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 0. And to be fair, Spurs have played really well, man. Like under ANGE Postecoglou, they've got themselves a new identity. I've been really impressed with Tottenham in the two games I've seen them. Of course, against Brentford, they drew, right? 2-2. But away from home going to Brentford, that's a good result. That's a very decent result to get a point. And again today, look, they grew into the game for sure, Tottenham. But I thought in the second half, they were by far the better team. Like, not even close. They were miles better in that second half and fully deserved of the 3 points. So you have to say congratulations to Tottenham. I know I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'll give credit where credit's due. Spurs played really well today. And under ANGE Postecoglou, they're starting to cook a little bit. I'm seeing that identity they're playing with. I'm seeing them pass on the back. They're pressing well. Maddison's been a breath of fresh air. And I said this. Look, losing Harry Kane is not the be-all and end-all of Tottenham. You have to find a way to adapt. It's a sink-or-swim league, right? You lose Harry Kane, he scores 30 goals a year for you. Fine. You can't just expect to now fall off. You have to find a way to recap. Players have to come in from him and fill in his boots. And they've done that in abundance. I thought James Manson's been fantastic. Bissouma, now he's finally playing, he's showing his true worth. He wasn't getting any minutes under Conte. So he's absolutely fantastic in the team as well. I thought Pape Sarr today was absolutely fantastic for Tottenham Hotspur. Absolutely fantastic in that midfield. He's such a young boy as well, really commanding, eager to get on the football. And I really like that in players, confidence to get on the ball. Because in midfield, right, the worst possible midfielders are the ones that don't want to touch the football. As a midfielder, you have to always want the ball, demand the football. And Sarr did that and scored a brilliant goal on the half volley as well. So yeah, Tottenham do really well under ANGE Postecoglou and pick up a big first victory. And look, 4 points in your first two games, Brentford away, United at home, you got to take that if you're a Spurs fan. Have to take that, especially if I told you Harry Kane won't be at the football club. But on the flip side, Manchester United. Here we go again. Doom and gloom around Manchester United. Away from home, they struggle. Again, this season, it's not looking good. That was their problem last year. Away from home against the top 9 teams, they couldn't get any victories. And again, this season, they can't beat Tottenham Hotspur away from home. A ground where, to be honest, they actually don't do too bad. It's not that bad of a ground for them, Tottenham Hotspur. But again, United. The problem with United is in their first 2 games, right? They got very lucky against Wolves. I covered the game on this channel. And again today, they don't assert any dominance on the football match. I don't understand it. They've brought in Mount. Obviously got Bruno Fernandes, who in my opinion is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, Bruno Fernandes. They've got other players like Garnacho, Anthony, Rashford, Lisandro Martinez, Varane, Casemiro. These are established, brilliant footballers, but they don't assert any dominance on the football match. I do not get it. If you look at Arsenal, Man City, right? Whether Arsenal, Man City lose the football match or win the football match, to a certain degree, they assert a dominance over the game. They control possession, they dictate the football, and they're the ones that dictate how the match flows. Manchester United are always happy to sit off and play counter-attacking football. In that first half, it was end-to-end chances both sides, but Tottenham were the ones that were on the football more, and it was more United reverting to counter-attack and transitional plays, where it was Anthony going through in the counter-attack, same with Rashford, Garnacho, etc. It was United dictating possession. Now, I always believe if you want to be a top football club, an elite team that goes and dominates for years to come, you have to have a system that allows you to dominate the football and control matches. And I feel like Man City have established that. I feel like Arsenal and Arteta is establishing that as well. Arsenal last season, whether they were going to White Hart Lane or playing at home against Burnley, found a way to win football matches. Do you get what I mean? Whereas you look at Manchester United, and every time they go away from home, and even last week against Wolves at Old Trafford, they didn't dominate the game. In both matches, they were happy to sit off, soak, and hit on the counter-attack, which works. It's pragmatic, and it does fit the style of Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, who, in my opinion, are 2 of the most dangerous players in the league. I've said this. I said that Manchester United are a very dangerous team. Very dangerous, because if you let Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford have time on the football, they can kill you. They're assassins. I mean, Bruno today at times, the Rabona cross into the box for Rashford, I mean, it's just disgusting he does. And then he's had a header, of course, that he should have scored in the first half. And look, if that goes in, it could be a different game. And Manchester United win this match convincingly. And we're sitting here going, brilliant, 2 wins on the road for Manchester United. But that's not how it goes. And I look at the start of the season, especially, performances ahead of results. I said against Wolves, they would have been delighted with the 3 points, but it was not a good enough performance. And again today for Manchester United, the performance is not good enough. They don't establish control of the football match. How can you expect to take that next step up to Arsenal and then Man City if you can't control football matches? Because Arsenal last season went to White Hart or Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and controlled the football match. Man City, fair enough, they didn't, but it's a bit of a voodoo Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But Arsenal, Man City, in the majority of matches they play, they control the football match. Win, lose or draw, they control that game. They control tempo. The other team might beat them, but they'll beat them on the transition or counter-attack. Manchester United, on the other hand, are happy to let go of control, let go of possession, and they prefer to revert to counter-attacking football. Now, I assumed by bringing in Mason Mount and playing a formation with Casemiro, Fernandes, and Mount in midfield, Ten Hag would want to replicate Arsenal, Man City, and try to dictate possession and get real technical players on the football. But they're still happy to just sit and soak. There's a lot of problems there. I think Casemiro's got to be a real problem for Manchester United now. Now, look, he's a fantastic footballer. Make no mistake about it. He's won more Champions Leagues than most clubs have won in their history. But your legs catch up to you. Your age catches up to you. The Premier League is one of the most athletic leagues in the world. It's so athletic. Players just run up, down, up, down, up, down. They got their warning sign against Wolves last week with Nunes, with Cunha, with Pedro Neto, etc. When those players were bombing up and down, up and down. They got there. They got a little bit of a taste of what's to come. And again today, when Sarr was on the ball, when Bissouma was on the ball, Maddison, Kulusevski, no one could catch up to them. In the counter-attack, when Spurs are running directly at you, Manchester United can't defend. Their midfield has no balance. There was at times in that second half where Manchester United were bypassing the whole midfield. They were going from defence to attack. They were playing long ball. Like literally, they had no domination of the ball whatsoever. That second half especially, Tottenham were dictating all of the possession. So that's going to be a real worry for Ten Hag and Manchester United, because everyone knows this. It's the fundamentals of football. The midfield battle is where you win football matches. That's been known since the dawn of football. The midfield battle is how you win the game. Assert yourselves in the midfield. It's no surprise that the teams that have the best midfield, more often than not, win trophies. Look at Man City's midfield. It was Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne last season, and they won the treble. You surprised? Look at Arsenal's midfield now. You got Partey, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. That's a solid midfield. Liverpool, they've struggled because their midfield was their problem. Chelsea, their midfield was their problem. They now seem to fix it with Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo Fernandez. That could be a good midfield. Your midfield wins you matches. Now, I assumed, I think a lot of people assumed it. When Mason Mount comes in, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, and Casemiro is a very risky midfield, because Casemiro is the only one that can defend in that midfield, and he hasn't got much legs. So you're relying on Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes to run up and down, but that's not their game. If I'm Bruno Fernandes, I don't want to be chasing up and down, up and down. I want to reserve my energy, because when I get on the football, I'm the danger man. So what they should be doing is surrounding Bruno Fernandes with two defensive midfielders, or at least a defensive midfielder in Casemiro and a box-box midfielder. That's why, for the life of me, I have no clue why Manchester United sold Fred. So for the life of me, I have no clue. Now, is Fred the answer for Manchester United? Absolutely not. Should he be starting for Manchester United? Absolutely not, in my opinion. But what Fred has that Mason Mount doesn't have, Eriksen doesn't have, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes doesn't have, Pellistri doesn't have, is Fred has the ability to run up and down the football pitch and be a box-to-box midfielder. Manchester United do not have a box-to-box midfielder right now. Pogba's not there. Fred's not there. Even whatever the Donny's name is, the Donny they bought in from Ajax, Van der Beek, he's not really there anymore. So no one can play that box-to-box role for Manchester United. Scott McTominay, he's not getting fancied by Erik ten Hag. So if you're Manchester United, you've got to bring in a box-to-box midfielder. I hear they're linked with Sophie and Amrabat. Go get him. He might not be the best player, but you do need a box-to-box player, because a midfield three of Casemiro, Mason Mount, and Bruno Fernandes has no balance. It does not work, in my opinion, full stop. Equally, I don't believe a midfield three of Rice, Havertz, and Odegaard will work for Arsenal. There's just no balance there, because midfield battle is the key to every game. And when you got teams running at you, like Wolves did last week and Tottenham did today, Manchester United cannot keep up with them. Again, away from home, they don't assert themselves on the ball, and they pay the price. If you want to have a midfield three like that, you're going to have to dictate possession. You've got to have 60 to 70% of the ball, and that's not Man United's style. Man United under Erik ten Hag have always been a counter-attacking team. They've always been a team that has been dangerous off the counter-attack. That's how they play football. Now, I assume they're going to revert to now playing a domination style of football like Arsenal, Man City. And if that's the case, it makes sense bringing in Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, etc., and playing them in the midfield. But it's not working. You can't play counter-attacking football with a weak midfield three. It doesn't work like that. You have to have a balance to it. And I don't think Manchester United have found that right now. Now, fortunately for them this is a bit of a warning sign, and it's in the transfer window. So they have time to resurrect it. Of course, I know that Højlund is coming in, I believe. He got signed from Atalanta. He's on the injury treatment room right now. Let's see if he comes back, what he does to Manchester United. But right now, there is a lot of questions that need to be answered for Erik ten Hag, because yet again for Manchester United, away from home, they're struggling. And that is a big problem. I'm going to get into your comments in a second, guys, by the way. Keep leaving your thoughts and live chat. And if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. My road to 5,000 subscribers. My next match reaction will be later today for Man City versus Newcastle. I cannot wait for that match as well. But yeah, Manchester United, look, they've got time to resurrect it. If Højlund comes in, obviously when he's off the treatment table, he could be a real good player up front for them, because then you can shift Rashford out to the left. Anthony, I'm still not sure about. I think he's a bit hit and miss. They had chances today, Manchester United, though. And here's the funny thing. Man United are a dangerous team. I do believe this. Like on the counter-attack, especially in the first half, they had some good chances. Rashford potentially could have scored. Anthony hit the post. You're looking at having Bruno Fernandes with a wide open header that he's absolutely skied. So Man United do generate chances. They're not a bad football team whatsoever. But if you're Manchester United, the big thing for you is, yet again, away from is deserting you. You're not getting any points away from home, and you've got to fix that. You have to, because how can you expect to fight for the Premier League title and challenge if you're not winning games away from home? Because it's always away form that dictates how strong of a team you are. At home, fair enough, they're good. They're really good. They lost one game last season away from home. They're a good football team at home. But away from home is where you really test the mentality of the players and the structure of the team. Because that's when you go to hostile places where you got your backs against the wall. It's 60,000 fans chanting against you. That's where you really get tested as a football team. I don't think Manchester United live up to their expectations. Look, Man United are the biggest club in England. Full stop, they are. So for them to go to these places like Tottenham Hotspur, they should be doing better than they are. They shouldn't be sitting there counter-attacking. I know a lot of their fans were very optimistic before the game, and especially because they haven't lost at Tottenham's ground, I don't believe. But they got a rude awakening again today, Manchester United, because it was not good enough. Jeff, appreciate your stream, by the way. Hope you're doing well, my friends. Spurs looking organised, United looking slow. Yeah, Andrew's doing very well at Tottenham Hotspur, very well. He's got a system in that works. And I've been crying out for time because under under Conte, under Mourinho, Nuno, etc., Spurs were playing the back five. It was too pragmatic. And that's not how you play football. I feel like under Ange, he's told the players, express yourself, be a bit more free, and it's working. They're playing to their strengths. Players are floating in and out. They're getting on the football. They look happy to play with the team. And it always leads to better results. When you got players playing in their position, when you got players to play on the football, they prefer it. I'm telling you, even if you're the best defender in the world, no one wants to chase the ball around for 90 minutes. No one wants to sit and defend for 90 minutes. You want to get on the football. You want to express yourself on the ball. That's what playing football is about. Think about when you were a kid. Did you want to be chasing the ball defending, or did you want to get on the football and making things happen? You always would prefer to be on the football. Under Mourinho, under Conte, Spurs were being asked to be defensively astute. Yeah, you have to be defensively organised. Make no mistake about it. I'm not shirking that side of the game. But you always have to be able to assert yourself in the match and have some kind of technical ability on the football. And I feel like the Spurs players thrive on the ball. Spurs have always been a team that likes to play nice football. This isn't their style. Their style isn't to sit back and defend. I thought Bissouma and Sarr in that midfield was a brilliant balance. Now, Bentancur coming back as well is very exciting. I said last week when they started Skip, I had no clue why. Look, Skip has had time in Tottenham, and you might say he's a bit underrated, but for me, Skip should not be in that Tottenham team. Bissouma under Andrews had a breath of fresh air. He's been looking at the Brighton Bissouma. Really good in there. Maddison as well, really coming to life. Spurs have missed that attacking midfielder for so long, man. Ever since Eriksen's left, they haven't replaced their attacking midfielder. Suddenly, Maddison's coming in and looked 10 times better. Son still hasn't hit his form from a couple of seasons back, so that's something to look forward to. Richarlison, obviously with him, it's a bit hit and miss. He's not going to fill the boots of Harry Kane, nowhere near, but if you can get some kind of output from him, you take that. Kulusevski, I've always been a massive fan. I think he's a top player. So Tottenham look good. Like, look at that Tottenham team. You can't tell me it's a bad football team. It's a really balanced and good team. And as I said, if you told them that after Brentford away and United at home, you're sitting on 4 points, I think a lot of Spurs fans would have taken that, especially the fact they lost Harry Kane. So, look, under Ange Postecoglou, whenever you get a new manager, number one priority is insert some kind of culture in the football club and performances. That's got to be number one. And I feel like Ange has done that. So that's a tick box for him. The fans are behind him. You saw it before the game. The fans were chanting his name. The fans were chanting. They were ready for the team. They're looking forward to something new. Spurs have been starved of good football because here's the thing, right? There's two sides to the coin. You play entertaining football or you get results. Or you hopefully get both. Now, under Conte and Mourinho, Spurs did not play entertaining football, but they were having good results, at least at the start of last season. As soon as the results dried up, suddenly it got really toxic because bad performances and bad results is a medley for badness around the football club, just toxicity in general. You can tolerate bad results if there's really good performances, and you can tolerate good results if it's bad performances. But you have bad performances and bad results, which was what was happening under Conte last season towards the second half of the season. That's when it starts to really get toxic. And that's what was happening around Tottenham Football Club. Now, under Ange, in their first two games against Brentford, I called it last week. I reviewed the game on this channel. I said, look, I like what Ange is doing. I like the personality. I like what he's implementing. I think he's a really good manager. And he's letting the players express themselves. The players look happy to play for Tottenham now. And I think he's doing really well. And look, a few good signings as well in there. Maddison's good. Mano Solomon could be a really good player as well. I think their defender, Van de Ven, could be a really good player. Obviously, Udogie as well. He could be a good player. So I think Spurs look good. Look, losing Harry Kane obviously is a killer blow. Whenever you lose a striker that bags you 25, 30 goals a season, it's got to hurt. But you're a football club at the end of the day. This isn't Harry Kane FC. It's Tottenham Hotspur FC. So you got to find a way to replace him. And as I always say, in life and in football, it's never as bad as you think. And Spurs again showed that they've got a decent football team there. Really good team. And I think they're going to grow this season. And look, I'm not saying they're going to challenge for the title. Nowhere near. I don't even think they're going to get top four, to be honest. But under Ange Postecoglou, the football's back. The performances are back. And There's a unity now of the fans and the players and the manager, and that's so important. Look at the Mikel Arteta model. And I know Spurs fans won't like me talking about Arsenal, but look at what Mikel Arteta did, right? When Arteta came in, the results weren't really there for Arsenal. We finished 8th in back-to-back seasons. But he wanted to make sure he united the fan base with the players and, of course, the coaches as well. He wanted to create a real unity around the football club. And lo and behold, a few seasons later, Arsenal challenging for titles. That it's not some kind of like just correlation. Correlation does not imply causation, right? But I do genuinely believe that when you have a united fan base, when you have united players, when the players actually want to play for the manager, you get good results as a byproduct. I genuinely believe that. Mystery69, appreciate you on the stream, my friend. Hope you're doing well. RD12 as well, appreciate you on the stream. I can't say I didn't tell you about Man United. That team looks disjointed right now. It's just away from home. United struggle, man. Again, last season away from home was their Achilles heel, and again this season they struggle away from home. That is a sign of a weak team. Look, Manchester United are still a very dangerous football club. Make no mistake about it. On a day, they can kill any team out there. I think Bruno Fernandes and Rashford are a dynamic duo. But once again, if you don't look to dominate possession, if you don't look to get your foot on the football, and if you don't look to take some kind of impetus on the game, you're going to struggle. That's just the be-all and end-all of life and in football. Look at Man City and Pep Guardiola. Tell me a game where Pep Guardiola's Man City has less possession than the opposition. It rarely happens. They always dictate possession because even if they lose, they have a foothold of the match. So that's why they lose very rarely. They'll lose to counter-attacking goals. Manchester United are happy to lose possession to the other team. They're happy to sit back and defend. And yes, you'll get results like that. Of course you can. But in the long term, if you're looking sustainably, if you're looking for the future, are you really going to be a top-level elite team if you don't have some kind of possession over the football continuously, consistently over the majority of matches? No, you aren't. That's just the be-all and end-all about it. Arteta's Arsenal controls possession. Man City's Pep Guardiola controls possession. Manchester United under Erik ten Hag do not control possession the majority of games. Against Wolves last week, they were lucky. I called it. Forget the VAR decision. Even regardless of them getting lucky with the VAR decision, they still got lucky. Wolves should have scored. They had a juju on Onana's goal. They got lucky in that game. Again today, they got exposed. The first half was okay, but that second half was criminal by Manchester United. They've got a lot to fix up. I know in a couple of weeks' time they go to the Emirates to play Arsenal. That'll be another tough game for them. So if you're Manchester United, if you're Erik ten Hag, you got to get on the training ground. And you got to replace Fred. Now, Fred, I know he wasn't the answer for Manchester United. I've said this from before. But what Fred gave you is he gave you legs in that midfield. He gave you someone that could link defence and attack. For about 30 minutes in this game in the second half, Manchester United bypassed their whole midfield. They refused to play through the middle. They went straight from defence to attack long ball. How are you going to win a football game if you bypass your midfield? Tell me any time over the past 4 seasons when Man City have bypassed their midfield. They don't. Man City play through Rodri. They play through De Bruyne and Gundogan. So why am Manchester United expecting any sort of performance when they bypass Fernandes, they bypass Mason Mount? You brought them in to get on the football. Mason Mount doesn't want to be chasing back, defending. He wants to get on the football and make things happen. That's his type of game. That's what he had on the Chelsea a few years back. Bruno Fernandes, the man's dangerous. He's an assassin. Did you guys not see that? He Rabona crossed it. I'm sitting there thinking, this brother's unbelievable at times. But even he's been asked to chase back. That's not Manchester United style. So for me, if I'm Manchester United, go back to basics. Bring in Amrabat and play midfield three of Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno Fernandes. Because at least that gives you balance. At least that gives you a defensive midfielder, a midfielder with legs, and a midfielder in Bruno Fernandes who's a creator and a technician. That's all you need. Don't overcomplicate it, because right now, there's not really a middle. It's the defense, it's Casemiro, then there's a gap, and it's Fernandes, Mason Mount, and the attackers. There's no actual midfield. It's just defensive and attacking players. There's no link man. There's no one to just bypass and transition from defense to attack. And it's proven over both games. Over both games this season against Wolves and against Tottenham, if you bypass the attackers, you're running at the defenders. There's no link man that can progress from defense to attack and attack to defense. That's just my thoughts on it. Lisandro Martinez was involved in more goals than any other player on the pitch. Don't ever compare him to Saliba again. Look, Martinez is a fantastic player. Make no mistake about it. But this is the thing with United. Their defense is looking a little bit discombobulated again. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right? He's a good defender. Make no mistake about it. I think he's a really good right back, especially one-on-one defending. But he's not good on the football. And this is how I look at it, right? And you can say it's too simplified, but I think football is sometimes a very simple game. Would Man City play Aaron Wan-Bissaka? No. Would Arsenal play Aaron Wan-Bissaka? No. So why are Manchester United playing them? Let's be real about it. If Man City and Arsenal are the benchmark, Man City first, Arsenal 2, you should be looking at, do your players get into those teams? No. So why are you playing them? Make no mistake about it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Aaron Wan-Bissaka cannot play on the football. He's not comfortable receiving the ball. I think Onana's a really good goalkeeper, by the way. Really good goalkeeper. And Martinez, look, Martinez I think is a really good player. Really good signing. But he's been asked to cover the ground where other players make mistakes. And here's the thing. They haven't got enough balance. And it goes back down to the midfield. Why have Liverpool struggled over the past 2 seasons? Because they've got no midfield. Why have Chelsea struggled? I mean, they've addressed it now, but they had no midfield. When the team has the midfield, they seem to do well in football. Crazy that, right? Your midfield carries you in matches. So it's just one of those things, man. They should have just kept their mouth shut about we don't play friendly games, but one thing's for sure, they're too friendly for the opposition. It's a funny one there, man. We're going to regret this season not signing Basuma. Now, I don't think we will as an Arsenal fan because, look, we've got Partey, we've got, what's the name, Declan Rice. I think we'll be all right. We could have regretted not signing Caicedo in January, but we tried our best. So it's one of those things. My man, appreciate you on the stream, my friend. 9 quadruples 019, crazy username. Mount is regressing Rashford. This guy can't pass and he's a headless chicken. Look, here's the thing with Mason Mount, right? He's not being played in the right position. He's trying to adapt in, just like Arteta's trying to do with Havertz. And look, it might be a masterstroke. Of course, you need an adaptation period. But in my opinion, they're not playing in the right position. Marcus Rashford has come out himself and said, I want to play left wing. That's where I feel more comfortable. I want to take on the teams, cut inside my right foot, and bang shots from there. But he's being forced to play up front. And I don't blame Erik ten Hag because he's down tooled. Now, if he wants to play Martial up there and play Rashford on the left, fair play. Maybe when Højlund comes back to full fitness, he will be stuck up front. But for now, Rashford's playing up front, and that's not Rashford's position. Rashford's not a striker. He's a left winger. He likes to pick up the ball on the left-hand side and drive at the opposition. He doesn't want to just run in behind from the center of the pitch. He wants to have an influence from the left-hand side. And look, when you've got players playing out of position, I talked about it sometimes as well. It's one thing playing them out of position. It's they don't feel comfortable there. They're not happy playing there. I spoke about how Spurs look happy under ANGE Postecoglou, whereas under Conte and under Mourinho, the Spurs players didn't look happy. They looked stressed on the football pitch. Rashford looked stressed up front. Mount looked stressed in that number 8 box position. It's not their game. So sometimes you just got to go back to basics. And I feel like Ten Hag isn't doing that. Bissouma, Sarr were class 100%. They were fantastic today. I enjoyed watching Man United under Solskjaer than this United team. Yeah, under Solskjaer, they look more exciting. I do agree with you 100% there. Spurs without Kane are so good. They focused on midfield rather than Kane scoring. Refreshing Spurs. Exactly. Sometimes you do need a refresh. And sometimes you need to go back to a team-oriented style where it literally is, as you said, the team. Under Kane, it felt like a bit of a one-man show. They were playing through Kane too much. Whereas now, it's a team show. Everyone's getting involved. Everyone looks happy. You're getting contributions from all over the football pitch. I mean, Spurs have scored, 4 goals this season. It's all come from different players. So it's looking really good for Tottenham, man. I'm liking what I'm seeing under ANGE Postecoglou. I think their Spurs fans are happy again. They're going to the stadium happy, and that's the main thing, right? You've got Ramsdale taking a piss out of United as well. Well, here's the thing, man. Ramsdale's just one of those keepers, man. He's a confident guy. This Anthony, brother, he's the most predictable Premier League player I've seen in my years of living. I'm not a fan of Anthony. Look, here's the thing, Manchester United, right? And they're saying Glazers out. And one thing I fully respect about Manchester United fans is they've kept the Glazer out agenda. Arsenal fans, I feel like we've stopped the Kroenke out thing. Maybe because we've invested and maybe because we're challenging for the title now. Whereas United have kept up with the Glazer out, like for the last however many years, they've kept up with it. But they do give money. You just spend it wrong. That's just my thoughts on it if you're Manchester United. I said this point on the other stream, right? You spent 100 million on Anthony. This season, right, you bought Mason Mount for 65 million and Højlund for 70 million or something like that, right? That's what, 135 million combined? Would you rather sign those 2 players or sign Harry Kane for 130 million? Let's say you could have got him for 130. Who knows? You would have rather signed Harry Kane. So the money's there. You're just spending it wrong. Onana, good purchase. Fair enough. But you're spending the money on the wrong type of players. That's just my thought if you're Manchester United. So the money's there. You're just not spending it right. Anthony's not that guy, man. 100 million is a big waste on him. I'd rather Nelson than this guy. Maybe, man. Maybe. They genuinely need wingers who are willing to track back. It's like a midfield and defense. Play alone as a separate team sometimes. RD12, you're 100% right. Look, when Arsenal played against Forest on the weekend, right? Saka and Martinelli were fantastic going forward, but they didn't shirk their defensive responsibilities either. Martinelli and Saka were the first 2 players to run back and chase the ball and win it back. And when you have the wingers that are willing to track back, that's such a positive sign. You're right. Anthony doesn't run back. Sancho doesn't run back. You're looking at, what's the guy's name? Garnacho doesn't really run back. These players aren't good enough on the football to not want to run back. They're not like Messi or something. Messi, you can bypass not doing defensive responsibilities because Messi's Messi. He will reserve his energy and do fantastic things on the attack. Anthony isn't good enough to not run back and defend. He's a bad signing. Like, this is what I talk about. If you want to reach the levels of Man City, ask yourself, does Anthony get into Man City's team? And the answer is no. They would rather play Bernardo Silva at right wing, Cole Palmer at right wing, than Anthony at right wing, who's an out-and-out right winger. I genuinely believe that. And that's got to be warning signs. Arsenal wouldn't play Anthony over Saka. No way in a million years. So Manchester United really got to look at themselves and think, if they want to reach the next levels, that is the Arsenal Man City, if they want to challenge for the title, they got to change some things. And whether it's personnel, whether it's their system, I'm not too sure, but changes need to happen. Spurs also have Benzema on the sideline. Damn, Spurs look good. Yeah, look, they do. But this was the same last season, right? Spurs started really well under Conte last year. I believe they won their opening 3 games or something. Then it really started to dip off against around Christmas time. But at least the performances look good. They look good for Tottenham. And look, I don't think they'll fight for the title anywhere near. I don't even think they'll get top 4 Tottenham. But if they can get Europe, if they can really build a real good feel-good factor around the football club, that's got to be the main thing for them. I think they've got to be absolutely delighted with that if you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan. So that's the main thing. And look, bit by bit, they are starting to go on the ANGE Postecoglou. And it's been a very quick turnaround. I feel like it would have taken them much longer to get into the groove of things. But that's what it just goes to show that Spurs got a really good team there. They have. They've got a genuinely really good team, man. Who knows, man? If they win a cup this season, you never know. You never know. It can happen. Football's a crazy game sometimes. So look, I think they've done really, really well this game. And as I said, 4 points after Brentford and United at home, that's got to be a really good turnaround for Spurs. I think they'll be absolutely delighted with that. But yeah, I'm going to start to wrap up this stream now because I'm going to stream again later today for Man City versus Newcastle. And in that stream as well, I will be recapping the 3 p.m. games as well, including Liverpool beating Bournemouth, Brighton winning, and Brentford winning as well. So make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you do not miss that stream. It will happen straight after Man City versus Newcastle. But to recap this game, Tottenham beat Manchester United 2-0. Man United's away days curse continues. They can't seem to get any points away from home against the top teams. I mean, where's Eric Ten Hag go from here? Spurs, for them, fantastic result. Really good second half performance in particular. 2 goals from 2 different players. I believe the second one was an own goal from Lisandro Martinez. And for Ange, he's absolutely delighted with what's going on right now in the team. Drew against Brentford, but looked really good there as well. And against there, especially in that second half, really dominated. So fantastic result. Jeff, appreciate your prediction for the result. You're going for City 2 on Newcastle. I guess I might as well give my prediction to wrap up the stream. I am predicting a 3-2 Man City win. I hope Newcastle get a result, though. Either way, I'm looking forward to what I hope to be a fantastic match. But I appreciate everyone that's tuned into the stream today. Make sure you do subscribe down below if you're new around it. Drop a like so the stream gets out to more people in the algorithm when it becomes a video. I've been wonderful, and I hope to catch you guys all in my next one. Take care.